Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you out there to see how all of you beautiful souls are doing. And, I hope that you're working on yourself, trying to be that change. Oh, I hope that you are working on yourself, being that change that you want to see in this world. There. That is much better, right? Instead of saying trying, you are working on it. So I apologize for wording that the wrong way. But anyway, it is so important that we all work on ourselves, and be that change that we want to see in the world, So that's what my channel is all about, and be the best version that you can be. That's what this whole thing is about, really, is really those two side by side. And anyway, I just want to say to you, all of you, is I am so sorry. For the last so many days, I have been having computer issues with my computer. Like I changed my password and somebody hacked into my computer. I've been, so I apologize. I haven't been able to get videos out like I wanted. Whether it was a computer issue or a internet issue or whatever. So please, I am sorry, and I am just apologizing because I've been every day, like clockwork, always getting a video out every day. So it blows my mind that I got one day that I missed, so it really, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to get a video out that day. I had the video made. Actually, I had hard times actually editing videos. I couldn't even, something on my computer was going on. But anyway, I don't want to make a big, long story out of that. I just want to say sorry. And also, I just want to reach out to all of you and make sure, you're taking really good care of yourself and your loved ones. Your husband, your wife. Lucky you when you got a husband, you got a wife, you are blessed as long as they are the right kind, a husband and wife, ones that are keeping you, not that they're, like you got to keep yourself happy, but that you're happy and you're content with who you are with. That is so important, and I hope you're taking really good care of your kids, and anyway, I hope you're getting out in nature, getting out and breathing that good ass prana, baby, it is, I just fell in love the other day when I went out on a hiking trail, and a lot of people didn't see that. A lot of people don't even know it's a hiking trail. It doesn't look like it by the thumbnail, but it was a very beautiful video, and it's about the Privacy Act. What Privacy Act? That's a very beautiful hiking trail, with some bumblebees and other insects that pollinators, other pollinators and butterflies in that video. But yeah, it just that I really that was a very beautiful, and I was out there, and I believe that's the video where I'm like, Starlight is like, ooh. I was like in a love frequency. I was like, wow, the universe, brought me out there. Something, I wasn't able to make it to the yoga place that I was going to go, and it was a new place that I was going to try to go to, but I was running behind, and then I got stuck behind a truck, wasn't able to go there, but I'm like, you know what, let's switch up everything. We're going to go to a hiking place, and so that's where the universe brought me, and it felt so great to have the sun and the air, and I got to be around the water. So that's why I encourage you. It's such a great feeling. Get around some flowers, whether you're a guy or a girl. I'm telling you, whew, Starlight was in love. I was in a higher frequency. I definitely was in the 5D at that moment. But anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, you can find me on YouTube at Starlight, and that's Kathy with a K, Dingman. Plus, you can give this video a thumbs up. You can share it with your friend, your family, your cat, your dog, maybe a black cat, I don't know. Also, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget the notification bell. You can leave a message down below, ding, ding, ding. And you can also follow me on Instagram, and that's 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. So anyway, I was making this video earlier, and I had to delete it, but this is my second time remaking it. So here we go. So anyway, I said some things the wrong way, so I had, instead of editing it, because like it just looks horrible when I get done editing it, I just decided, I didn't get that far into the video, I'm just going to delete it. And anyway, tonight I want to talk to you about that, your words are very powerful. And if you didn't know that, that is why I'm here today, to let you know. And I have to say a big, huge thank you to Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart, because he's the man that actually I am giving him credit, because this is why I'm even having this topic, is because he's the one that taught me that. He is a master teacher, a psychologist. I finally get to, sometimes I get a couple words mixed up and I don't want to call him the wrong name. But, so he's a deep diver out there, and he has a YouTube channel, and he's helping many, many people out there. So anyway, is when I didn't know that your words were powerful, before I met Ralph Smart on Infinite Waters, not that I met him in person, but on YouTube videos, is I thought my thoughts were my own, and just to let you know is that this world is backwards, inside out, upside down, all messed up, really. Everything that you've been taught really you have to really kind of like a cell phone is to delete all the stuff that you were taught, from being a child, because it isn't your parents' fault, it's not my parents' fault. What they were taught is what they were taught. What they were taught was not the truth. So we can't get mad at mom and dad, or what they told us, because even my grandmother, or my, I never even met I don't even remember my grandpa, I could say this, is that my grandma and I don't know my grandpa on my grandma's side, but on my mom's side, she didn't have an education, and then she had like 15 kids with 3 different husbands, and then my mom did not have an education. My mom's got like a 3rd grade level. My dad is blind, right now he's 100% blind, but when he started out he wasn't, so he only was able to learn, so much. So I don't know if he graduated or not. So, and then so they were not getting educated, they lacked on education a lot. And then Starlight too, I left my home before I was 16. So when I got done with school, really, I had a 6th grade level and a 7th grade level, depending on the subjects. Definitely math was the 6th grade level. Writing was my high point. I loved to write. So I loved writing, and I do love reading too. So anyway, is because a lot of people, either you have a great education, you thought, hey, my parents had a great education, but the way, I thought I was suffering when I went to school, because I was put in a special class, separated from all the other kids. I had a voice, though, when I was in my class. My teacher actually let me. He did. He let me. I loved my male teacher. I had female teachers, but out of the female and the male teacher, he was my favorite teacher that I had. And I did. He actually was observing Starlight, and he knew I was upset about being in the class, and I spoke up, and I always thought I was missing out. But really, at the end, it really turned out that, you know what, I was bitching and complaining, trying to speak up for our rights, being that voice for all the other kids. letting them know how messed up this class was because, they put us in this class, like a special class that they called, oh, you're special, that's why you're in this class. I'm like, I don't feel very special, they're all calling me a retard, So Starlight did not have a good education, but really in the reality, I am grateful now. I am thankful now that I wasn't extra brainwashed like maybe you were. Sorry. But really, if you went through high school, which I didn't, I never even walked my foot into high school, not really to actually be there to learn, if you went through and you graduated, that means that you're more programmed and more brainwashed than I was. So really, thank you, universe, that I was put in that class that they called special, because I didn't learn all that other stuff that maybe you learned, So it is messed up where, I thought my whole life that my thoughts were my thoughts. And until I met Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters, and he's not the only one online on YouTube that says, tons of people on YouTube says the same thing, and so my whole life I thought all my thoughts were my own, and, I have one of my family members that, wow, talk about an overactive mind, overactive imagination. We both had it. We were like, wow, we were just, any topic. There is no topic that we never talked. We talked about anything and everything, no matter how good or bad or ugly or whatever. We talked. We both were talkers, and so it is. So we talked about interesting things, things that it just was. I could not just talk about everyday stuff. Absolutely not. Boring. I was like, I would hear everybody else's conversation. I'm like, you're putting me to sleep. I Starlight needs something here. So anyway, is that when I discovered that my thoughts are not my thoughts, I realized that's what's been tripping me up my whole life. Really? My thoughts are not my thoughts? Wow, what an eye-opener that was. It was like, boom, reality. I had to do that. Whoops, this always is backwards. Reality check. I just hit a tree. I was bam. Oh, man, that hurt. But you know what? I'd rather, run in a tree and, at least it stopped me. At least it got my, attention. Really? Those are not my thoughts? Wow, did I ever think, and you might think, there's nothing wrong with thinking, I'm going to back you up on this. I'm not going to back you up on this. I'm going to explain something because I did this in the other video. Is when I went to church, they taught me that, hey, it's okay that you think whatever you think. They never taught me that they were not my own thoughts. I don't know if they knew or not, because there's a lot of brainwashing there too, and not speaking the truth all the time, twisting the word of God, so, because you can interpret the Bible however, So anyway, they were teaching that, if a bad thought or a negative thought, came in your mind, that it was okay, as long as you didn't act upon that thought. So I'm like, oh, okay. But really, just like I said in the other video is, here we go. Hang on. We're going to go for a ride. This morning, I got a little kind of emotional a little bit about something. I don't like watching the news, but I had a different radio station on when I got in my car today to go to a park. And so I never listened to this radio station, and they had the news on, and I just was like, just getting in the routine of getting where I had to go, and I knew where I had to go, and I just let the news, because I knew that, I was waiting for the weather, because I didn't know what the weather was going to be like, and you know what, this is why you got to realize that it is so important to understand that your thoughts are not your own, and it is important to understand this, because there are people that do get some horrible thoughts in their mind, and the church was 100% wrong, really, on what they were teaching me, and this is what tripped me up on, my thoughts and stuff. So, and this does happen, like, if you are an active thinker like I was, is that, like, we get thoughts, and if you're around, like, I had to cut a lot of people out of my life, everybody practically, and you might have to cut people out of your life, where if you got people in your life that are negative and that they're not believing in you, like if you want to do something, you got a goal and you got something that you are all excited and it's not hurting anybody, right? It isn't hurting anybody. It isn't hurting you. Is it hurting you? If it's hurting you and they speak up, that's that's good. You ought to be thankful. Thank you. Thank you that you care enough that you opened up your mouth and you told me what you're planning is not healthy for you and it's going to mess your whole life up, like if I was going to, go out and try some new drug or something. I'm like, yeah, I want to, I'm going to go to a bar later on tonight and get wasted and, take a chance of driving home drunk, and you had a friend or a family member that spoke up and says, you really should not do that. That's a good, not good, but it's a positive, good, the kind of people you want in your life, where you could have a horrible thought, like what if you were an alcoholic or you already cleared yourself from that alcohol and then you keep on getting this thought that you want to go get a drink. You want to go get a drink. Just like a cigarette. Oh, I need to have a cigarette. And that, so it is really important to understand your thoughts really, like what you think is your thoughts is not your thoughts, and so I was learning about, how to let go of those, like not to try to control your thoughts, and that's what I was trying to do in the begin with, when I realized that my thoughts were not my own, is, with the news that was going on the radio today, and this is what happens in real life here, like the church was totally wrong, because sometimes you get a thought in your head, right, and you're like, well, I'm not going to do that. No, it's a bad thought. It's a horrible negative thought, and you're like, no, I'm not doing that, but you think about it, and then you didn't do it. And then another day, something triggered that thought, in your head anyway. And then, boom, that same negative thought came back in your head. And maybe you were busy. Maybe you couldn't do that thing that you were thinking about. And, another time, that thought comes back in your head again, but this time you act upon it. And what was on the radio station, I'm not going to say exactly what happened because I got really emotional this morning and I did a really good clearing, a meditation was awesome. An Arturian, I love aliens, so, a clearing of a guided meditation to clear all that negativity out of my whole body, so, would you believe that in my area, in my town, is a horrible thing happened to a little kid right on the same street where the police department is located? I don't even know how many blocks that street is. Say if the block is like 5 or we'll say 7 blocks. To think, on the same street where the police department is in my area, something horrible happened to a little kid from the dad. And when they found the little kid didn't respond, and they did send the little baby kid to the hospital, and the little child did not make it. But they did put that man in, they got a lot of, like he try to fight the whole thing, like try to resist everything. They, the cops went and tried to pick them up, so my heart goes out to that little baby, that little kid, and that's where this stuff happens with people. They get a thought, they believe it's their own, and they might have not have did it the first time. Then that thought comes back in their head again. And they might have not did it that time. But that thought keeps on coming back, and boom, they finally caved in and did it, and and then they did it. And then, it's like I always believed that habits come, by threes. I have experiences throughout my life that if I did something more than 3 times, three is a very powerful number. It ended up being a habit. Weird. Weird, 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 weird. Like if I had a glass of wine one night, then I'm like, hey, I really enjoyed that last night. I feel like tonight I'm going to do that again. And then I had more wine. Well, this time I had a couple wines. Ooh, I really feel good. And then the third night, I really enjoyed that night and this night. And now I'm going to have another, and then boom, before you know it, Starlight's drinking every night, So your thoughts are, like not your own. And, words are very powerful. Before I met, not that I met him in person, but Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart, Starlight had so much negative thoughts. So many. They overweighed the positive thoughts, to be serious with you. So I'm correcting what I did the last time, so I'm not going to say what I did last time. So sometimes what you got to do is sometimes you got to let people out of your life. If you're around people, and it could be your mom or your dad, it could be your brother or sister, your aunt, your uncle, your grandpa, grandma, uncle, aunt, nephew, cousin, your friend, a stranger, people that you associate with, if they are negative to you, in a negative way, that, when you walk away, you're bothered by them, or they discourage you, they don't believe in your dreams or whatever, you really, I can't tell you what to do, but you might really want to let them go. And what I realized is when I, myself, let go of these certain people, these people in my life, whether they were family or friends or whoever they were, all that stuff that I was thinking, because it was not just me, when I thought they were my thoughts, and I realized that they're not my thoughts. And then when I did cut them out of my life, where I don't go visit them, I don't go do this and that anymore with them, I don't go fishing with my friend anymore, I don't go to the ocean with my friend anymore, I don't go skiing with my friend anymore that I thought was my friend, I don't do this anymore with these people, I am serious how a good 75% of what I was thinking disappeared. Totally disappeared. Then I had to deal with what I thought were my thoughts, and then I really discovered, not I discovered, but, through a YouTube video from Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart, my thoughts were not my own. So here I thought I did a really good job by deleting, a lot of people out of my life, and I can't be around you. They're toxic. I was a toxic person, and I wasn't even aware of it. The things that came out of my mouth. So it wasn't just them, but before, Starlight had a toxic mouth and wasn't even aware, because I didn't know how powerful words were, by beating myself up at times, because, how I've been programmed, from my past by either family members or, people that I thought were my friends, or strangers, because strangers can do that, even on the internet, somebody could send something on an email. I've received, messages on Facebook, people that are trying to scam me and trying to act like they're taking care of a bunch of kids from another country, and Starlight didn't give them any money, and, where they, oh, you're evil. Yeah, you're right. Whatever. I am, Starlight's not no fool. I could take a picture for, online, where it looks like they're all starving and they're from another country, and I got all these kids and I'm trying to help them. Can you give me some money for these kids? Starlight loves giving money. You want some money? Here, I'll give you some money. You need help? Okay, here you go. I do it all the time in my area. Even when I don't have, here you go. You know what? You're in a worse situation than I am. You need it more than me right now. homeless people. Yeah, you definitely need it more. You know, I see that you're living out in the street. You know, I'm walking by you, I see you. You know, if I just walk by and act like, you know, like how is that, you know, how can I even call myself human? You know, that is a word that I never liked in my life, is human. You know, I'm an alien more, more of an alien than a human. You know, so words are very powerful. You know, you can use them in a good way or a negative way, a positive way or good, you know, like a negative way. You know, so you really do, you got to really be careful of the words that come out of your mouth. You know, like saying things like, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or, you know, like, why the freak did I do that? You know, like, will you ever learn? Or, you know, boy, am I stupid? Or, you know, all these things, you know, like sometimes those things that we actually think about ourselves came from other people. Other people planted those in our minds, in our space, you know. Like you might have been called a retard when you were a kid, or like, what are you, stupid? You know, those kind of statements stay with you for your whole life. You know, it does. Those kind of words, you know, so we can use our words to edify people, to lift them up. Starlight has done a lot of that in her life. You know, somebody could be having a horrible, horrible day, you know, like whatever is going on, relationships. It could have been that they lost somebody. It could have been somebody treated them bad, you know, they've been going through abuse. Starlight might have not been doing so good herself, but you know what? Somehow or another, I get the strength enough to, like, forget about my own problems, forget about my own stuff that I'm dealing with, and let that go to, like, throw out a rope to them and help them out, you know, to give them a hand, to, you know, like to pay attention to them instead of focusing on my problems, is to give a kind word, give them some inspiration, you know, like to try to get them to see the bright side of something. You know, like my friend on Instagram, not Instagram, well, he is on Instagram, is Infinite Waters also, you know, taught me is that, you know, there's always a positive, even though, you know, like when you feel like it's all negative, you know, and that's a big freaking horse pill to swallow, you know, because that is so true, you know, where, you know, like somebody has, you know, I know some people that lost their mom, and they every day they suffer with that, you know, they wake up, they miss their mom still, you know, they had a great mom, you know, some people, you know, some adults don't know what it's like to have great parents, you know, and it is so weird how some people have great parents, but they don't respect them, they don't love them like they should, you know, they use them, they mistreat them. And then there's other people that had horrible parents, but they love them, they will do this, they will do that to help them out. It is so weird, but then you do have people like this one person that I do know that she lost her mom. She must have been a great mom, and she misses her mom. You know, so, you know, I've been around her, you know, and I'm like, oh, my heart goes out to her. I really, you know, like my heart does, you know, and it is hard to, you know, like try to help somebody that is going through that, you know, especially if you have not gone through it yourself, you know, where I've been able to help a lot of people out in my life, you know, because I've gone through what they went through. I know what it's like to go, you know, I went and experienced that stuff, you know, so it's not easy, but it's easier to help somebody when you've already experienced it, and that's why I wanted to have a YouTube channel. I've experienced a lot of things in life, you know, so I do have a lot of wisdom and knowledge, even before I started watching YouTube videos, things that I learned the hard way, you know, so really be cautious of the words that you use, you know, and, you know, really use your words in a good way, you know, like a positive way, you know, if somebody's, you know, maybe not doing the right stuff that you think, instead of discourage them on, you know, like maybe you can shine some light, you know. And I know, like, I've known somebody that wanted to go get a job somewhere one day, you know, and I'm like, ugh, that job, you know. I could have, right, discouraged them about the job that they wanted to take. But that would have been like a form of control on my part. It would have been like, don't take that job, you know. But, I didn't say anything. And, like, I figured, what? I want them to learn about the job. So I'm like, hey, good. Like they're in a bad situation. And I'm like, hey, you know what? The only way you're going to find out if you go and try it. They were kind of doubting, and I could have said something to discourage them from going to that job because it's not a job that you would be happy at. Absolutely not. It would have been one of those jobs that you do the same consistent thing on machines, you wouldn't have, the person would not have been happy. Absolutely not. And that's what happens. I've been there many times in my life. So I just want to let you know is to really, words are very powerful. And what will help you out is affirmations. Is to do the I am affirmations. Like I am abundant. I am kind. I am beautiful inside and out. It's not about just about the inside. It is not just about the outside, but what's going on inside, is more important than the outside appearance. I am rich. I am creative. I am smart. I am, kind. I am sweet. I am, honest. I am a great friend. I am a great mother. Focus on all the positive things. If a negative thought goes, which is not your own, and in time, after a while, when you do the affirmations, you can replace those negative thoughts that you had before. And then, like when a negative thought comes in your mind, don't try to control it. Just, like what I was being taught is that it's just a passing cloud. Don't put a lot of energy and focus on there. Try to think of something positive to replace that negative thought that you think is your own, because we're all connected, and like I said, like you might have things that other people planted in your mind and programmed to believe, like you're not good enough or whatever, or you'll never make it, or, or their opinions, or their energies. A lot of times you might say something exciting to somebody. Sometimes they don't even have to say anything. It's a good indicator, like, I was talking about something positive that I wanted to do, but they didn't respond at all. Sometimes that's the case, where then later on you go home and you go driving and then you're, like rewinding of how your day went from, your visit, and then you're driving home, you're like, I can't believe it. I was hoping that they were going to encourage me. I was hoping that they were going to say, great for you. I'm very excited. But they didn't say nothing. They didn't discourage me, but they didn't encourage me. So you gotta, this is where you gotta be your, like your cheerleader, even though they didn't say anything to lift you up and make you feel good about the positive thing that you're trying to do and work on. And, you might want to go for this job. You're all excited. You want the job. It's everything that you've been wanting for this job. The location, how much, and, you might know somebody that works there, you can see yourself being happy, you would qualify, and you're all excited, but they don't want you to get the job for whatever reason. And maybe they're jealous, so sometimes you gotta let people go, because they're a stumbling block. They're gonna trip you up, where you go to. So anyway, I am trying to shorten my videos. I love you so much, so really, and that's, really work on being positive. And if you are already positive, I love you so much. I do. I have a huge heart. Sometimes it's a little bit bigger than Starlight really understands. Really, I do. I have a beautiful heart. I'm the type of girl, definitely, and I've already done this in my past, like, would take my shirt off to give it to you if you needed it more than me. I love people so much, and I do count myself as a people person, even though I don't really have anybody in my life right now. But I'm always looking to help people out everywhere, anywhere. It doesn't matter, you know. So anyway, I do love you, and I really just want you to do those affirmations. They are very powerful. The I ams. I am enough. I am rich. I am a millionaire. I am beautiful. I am intelligent. I'm creative. You know, all these I ams are really beautiful. And at first, you might not believe those things, but keep on working. Go, I listen to them almost every day. I really need to. It reprograms your way of thinking, and that's how you can actually help yourself and get rid of the negative energy, the negative thoughts that you think that are your own, by just letting them go by. Just don't attach your thought, your energy to that stuff. And anyway, I do love you. You can give this video a thumbs up. You can share it with a friend, a family member, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can, I love my bell. You can push the bell. I will ring the bell. You can leave a message down below, and bing, bing, bing. And also you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman. And I got some new things I'm going to be working on my YouTube channel, so I'm going to add some stuff, learn how to do editing. It's so important that I do other things new. I got to really work on things. So anyway, I really am grateful to have you on my YouTube channel, and I really pray that you will get some help from any of my videos, and the universe loves you, the archangels love you, Starlight loves you, and I really hope you enjoy the rest of your day. This is Starlight, love and light.